Hello everyone. This one is a video for MBA students in specific who are confused on what specialization should they opt for in their MBA. Now, at this point, when you are preparing for MBA, you're focusing on quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, data interpretation, and verbal ability, sometimes even GK. But what a lot of people do not really understand is there are things beyond your first stage, which is the exam. जैसे you are aware of exams, CAT, NMAT, SNAP, ZAT, and so on. Although I'm planning one session later on the nuances of each of these exams as well. But you know these exams, you know the content that you need to prepare for these exams, and so on. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that an equal, if not more amount of effort is needed during the second stage of your MBA preparation, the GDPI stage. And one of the more common questions during that GDPI stage is what is the specialization that you want to pursue? And I'll come how to attack that question towards the end of the session. But first, let's focus on what are the different specializations that we have in the first place. Now, when I talk about specializations, let me first introduce myself. I am Lucknow DTO alumni, and my specialization was finance and operations in my 2 years of MBA. Now, the funny thing here is that specialization during I've done my MBA from IIM Lucknow. So in my PGDM degree, it's not mentioned anywhere. My LinkedIn profile, you can check, it says finance and operations, but my degree does not say finance and operation. My degree just says PGDM. So where does that specialization funda comes from? That specialization ka fundamental comes from the fact that first year is common for everyone. Second year may you have an option to choose electives. Now the area where you choose the most electives becomes your specialization. If you choose an equal number of electives in two areas, those become your two major or a major and a minor. And there's also a possibility that you do not really choose a lot of any one elective and then you specialize in a general MBA kind of profile. But this is all completely dependent on your electives picked up in second year. There are some courses which specifically offer you a degree, let's say agribusiness or HR. I'll come to those degrees in a later stage. Let's talk about first specialization, which is finance. Finance is ideal for individual who have background like parents are CA, parents are in finance, or they have their own inherited interest in math, stats, or eco, who want to make the finance kind of roles. What are the different finance kind of role? Managing financial resources, corporate performance, corporate finance, financial accounting. These are the kind of roles, subjects, topics that you are interested in. If that is the case, finance is the way to go for you. Your graduates can pursue in finance, investment banking, corporate controller, risk manager, financial analyst, and so many different profiles. I'll give you four major because finance seems to be the in thing these days. A lot of people without thinking go for finance. They need to understand what finance means. Four major areas is investment banking, wherein you assist a company with their merger acquisition, their investment decisions, how to raise the capital. वो IPO सुना होगा ना आपने? You have heard of phrase called IPO? That's investment banking. Corporate financing. Where do you invest the internal money of a company? Everyday operations vis-a-vis long-term management. Managing portfolios for individuals. SIP. You have heard of phrase called SIP. You have heard of debt market, equity market. So people are there who manage these for wealthy individuals or even institutions. And risk management, how do you mitigate the financial risk? You have invested, there are downsides and there are upsides. How do you manage that? That is finance. The second specialization is marketing and sales. And marketing and sales are two different things. They are connected, but they're still two very different things. What is marketing? Marketing is the process of teaching consumers why they should choose your product. And the idea here is that you give an idea, give a picture, the visual imagery to the customer, and they should be enticed to buy your product. What is the requirement of the product? What are the features? What does the end customer want? That is marketing. During marketing, remember the four P's of marketing. They are very, very crucial: product, price, place, and promotion. There are also seven P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion, physical environment, process, and people. Now, marketing and sales are two sides of the same coins. Marketing is responsible for generating demand of a product. You should know that there is a product which is available. You should be enticed to buy that product. Unless you see Shah Rukh Khan wearing a good brand of cologne, you will not be interested in buying that product. However, sales is what entices the end consumer to buy the product. What is the discount? Is it physically available in your nearby Kirana store or medical store or specialty store? That is sales. The third specialization is operations. Operations focuses on practical everyday execution strategy. You have seen that shampoo. That shampoo is advertised to be available in every shop near you. But the persons who are actually moving it from warehouse, from factory to the shop, that is supply chain management. How does the product gets transferred from one place to another? Supply chain management, logistics, quality control. Would you fly in an aircraft if every other aircraft fell down to the ground? No, that's the role of operations person, to observe, so to minimize the defect, for quality control. The opportunities are endless for operations. Operation manager, supply chain manager, logistic manager, consulting, and every sector demands an operation guy. In fact, to be fair, all five of these major specializations are required in every other sector. HR. HR, by popular theme in mind, is not just Rangoli and fun field trips. There are so many other areas associated with HR, primary of which is recruitment. So HR does recruitment and firing and compensation and talent management and organizational behavior, and obviously team building exercises, off-sites, Rangoli competitions, वगैरह वगैरह. HR is a crucial component for your everyday operation. They support operations people in managing the morale of the workforce. Information system is the IT side of your work. Project management, information security, ERP system. I'll give a very good example of ERP system. Every one of you has encountered one or the other form of ERP system. Let's say you go and eat out at a restaurant. Now, when you eat at a restaurant, they put in your bills. The bill gets generated, the entry for each food item gets generated into a bill. That bill is then sent to your mobile. The payment you make through different vendor moves through the entire system. Whatever is consumed, that is reduced from the stock. Whatever is consumed, that needs to be ordered from the vendors. This is the entire ERP system, the crucial aspect of your IT specialization. So every other thing, automobiles, banking, even defense. One of the guys I know, he's into defense. So they are all part of it. The biggest restaurant management system, Pet Puja, information systems. So in a crux, these are the five major specializations. In addition to these five major specializations, we have some niche specializations as well, and I'll come to that in a minute. But this is a broad overview of the five specializations, the kind of work that you can expect in these specializations. In addition to that, there are some niche fields which are very, very specific role, specific to requirement. For example, you can do your MBA in business analytics or healthcare or sustainability or agribusiness management. Let's say Dabur hai, Kisan hai. So those are connected with agribusiness management. You can do your MBA in sports management, family business, or entrepreneurship, media, financial technology. There are so many different field area. Now, this is a slightly specific area, which means there are very specific needs for it as well. You cannot hope to get into a general MBA. Sorry, you cannot hope to do an MBA in this field and then go into a general MBA. अगर आपने healthcare में MBA किया है, तो it is very difficult that you will get a role in, let's say, banking. So they are specific. Obviously, applications will vary from one point to another, but they are specific roles oriented. I had a student once, he wanted to do an MBA only in sports management. And there are only like 3 or 4 institutes which offer sports management. So those are the only 3 or 4 institutes which were his target area. Agribusiness management, जैसे I am Ahmedabad, I am Lucknow, they offer agribusiness management. So their courses are parallel to a PGDM. Just that in second year electives, there were some courses which were specific to agribusiness management. Instead of marketing, they had rural marketing. Anything with a agri wala connection to it. And once you have done 3 or 4 years of work experience, after that, if you want, you can move on to other fields as well. But initially, these niche fields specific role के लिए ही बनाई जाती हैं. Now, one very crucial question that you get in your interview, what do you want to specialize in? This is a very crucial question for you. What is your intended specialization? It is very easy to answer this question. If you are clear, then you can specify your specialization. But just remember that you have to read up on it. Because the moment you mention a specialization, they will ask you questions based only on that specialization. On the other hand, if you are not clear about what you want to specialize, just say that I want to explore. Because, as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, first year is common to every student. So in first year, you will do marketing and HR and operation and finance. You can very easily say, I want to explore, I want to understand all the nuances during the first year, and then in second year, I will explore whatever suits me best. And that's a perfectly okay answer. Nobody will ever question you about it. However, if you are clear that you want to get into finance or HR or operations, and you have a background which supports that statement, and obviously you have read up on it, then by all means be clear with your specialization. I want to specialize in HR. These are the reasons why I want to specialize in HR. And that's perfectly okay. This is my Gmail ID in case you want to connect with me on Gmail, want to drop a query, comment, or anything like that, connect with me via Gmail. And my LinkedIn profile, you can connect with me through my LinkedIn profile. I hope this has been a useful session for you. Thank you, everyone.